I awoke inside the village, reciting the simple life of a stalker. Awake, perform contracts, make money in return before nightfall to be by the bonfire before the freaks come out. However, I was not alone. Adventure seekers calling themselves loners adapted me silently into their ranks, a wordless brotherhood muffling my inquiries on my purpose of being here. Weeks prior, a stalker located me half dead within inside the zone and brought me in. However, not much is known on the stalker. Strangers told me that I was lucky for a living legend to care for a simple thrill-seeker rookie like myself. His name was Strelok. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that he has the answers I'm looking for. However, if not, the stalker must make a name for himself if he wishes to survive inside the zone.
Недоношенный ребенок войны. Я солдат. Мама, залечи мои раны. Я солдат. Солдат забытой Богом страны. Я герой. Скажите мне, какого романа? Я солдат. Мне обидно, когда остается один патрон. Только я или он. Последний вагон самогона, с таких миллион. О-о-о-о. Я солдат. И я знаю мое дело стрелять, чтобы пуля попала в тело врага. Это рога для тебя, мама, война.
Как дела, сталкер? Ну чё, что притащил?
It was my third day inside the zone, and with the need for food and the constant threat the zone possessed, I had no choice but to take up a contract, and I knew just the person to do it. The trader's personal security would offer up good-paying jobs. You see, just because he was a trader does not mean that he didn't have his enemies within the zone. People that he constantly wanted to take care of, or prevent from causing him any further harm. That was the job of his security detail. However, with some coaxing and some consideration, we eventually came to an agreement. I would do some of these tasks, and for this little bit of bloodshed, I would be paid. You see, a bunch of bandits, my personal least favorite faction, had taken a courier captive, and it was my objective to bring him safely back to the loners. So I raided my Mosin, grabbed my PDA, and moved toward the objective. However, upon my journey, I ran into some issues along the way. During my time with the loners, I had heard tales of these creatures, how they were dangerous and could back up. So, now that I knew that the area was clear, I decided to use an extra round, just to be cautious. Contrary to this creature's appearance, its meat is actually quite appealing to those outside the zone. It can sell for a top dollar if you prepare it right and sell it to the right person. So I took advantage of this and began harvesting. Oh, this really cool feature this game could have had, but would have made it even more annoying. Bro, what if when you went over to like get them things right? Like cut them open with their meat. What if they just they got pop back up and they flinch, try to hit you like they can kick you or damage you. As I neared the crest of the hill, I realized that this was the compound. One wrong move and the VIP could be killed, so I had to play it cautious. I might be able to sneak around. Well, if he just got turned into bacon. Okay, this has to be bandit occupied then. This is a rescue mission.
Ша, пацаны! Вали петухов!
To my annoyance, for 15 minutes I called up to the hostage. However, he was only just cowering over here in this courtyard the entire time. With some quick coaxing that I was actually with the loners, he was able to follow me back to the campsite. Within no time we were back to the loners, and I would have a little bit more money in my pocket from that point forward. It wasn't much, but it would gain some trust with the stalkers around me. Who you know and what cash you have, plus what equipment you have, can get you killed or keep you alive in this zone. I had just arrived back at the camp and been paid when he offered me another mission. Naturally, I could not turn it down. However, something was astray within the town. Gunshots and screams arose from the camp outside. Another military raid had appeared on the horizon. Approaching, I realized that this had ended as fast as it started. A few corpses scattered around, but nothing really there. It was simply just a small group of bandits trying to poke and prod at the defenses of the loners. It was a disappointment from the military raids, but picking some supplies off of a bandit's corpse was always a little bit of a cash grab anyways. However, it was nothing like looting the corpses of a Russian soldier, as they had better equipment. Perhaps these unprovoked attacks were started because of me. Perhaps because of my Western accent, they believed that I was some sort of informant of some kind. Either that or one of the mercenaries I've heard so much about, that really have no reason to be here inside the zone. When I was described the mission, I believed it was a solo extermination mission. However, I was mistaken. It was a safari, and I was their guide. It wasn't as glamorous as a hitman mission, or a rescue mission, but it would pay decently well. So, I kind of swallowed my pride, and I followed the rest into the zone. The tourists were no more than businessmen looking for the thrill of the zone firsthand from the sights of a gun. I realized we were in bandit territory, but luckily these moneybag fools didn't get me killed. I would have left them for dead, but then I realized the cost of their lives is my name on the personal hit list. Failure was not an option. The tourists were obviously not fit for the zone. They complained constantly about their feet hurting and their gas masks being too tight. At some point, I got annoyed of their bickering, so we stopped and made camp at the entrance of a tunnel. With one of my matches, I lit a small fire and we took a small minute break. However, I would only give them this, as we were close to the area where I would find the prey they were looking for. I quietly cursed to myself as we went up the hill and saw 3 of the boar-like creatures above the hill. These fools had completely underestimated these creatures and had tried to take on an entire pack. I quickly retreated as these fools were scrambled and ran for their equipment, one being immediately knocked down. Within seconds, these fools were scrambling around as I barely even was able to fire off a round before one pinned me as well. However, eventually these fools got the hang of it and were actually able to put a few of these things down. I stood up realizing that I was probably going to have to pay for his little bruises. Not only that, but we weren't out of the water yet. I heard shouting and yelling from the bandit camp nearby. These fools' shots had drawn the attention of the bandit camp. So I told them to pack as much as they could and move. One guy said he wanted to grab a trophy mount before he ran, but I wasn't having it. I told them to grab their gear and I started moving back towards the loners. However, what they said next was even better. They might as well have threatened my life directly with a gun, as they were telling me that I would not receive my entire fund if I had not gotten the last of the boars. So now I had to quickly kill this thing and run back to the base. Luckily for me, these boars were raised to be killed, so they had a tracker in them. Luckily I was able to find the last one and swiftly kill it. However, it appeared that this one was more dominant. It was more intelligent and more quick than the rest. It moved past the rookie's shots and even a few of mine. However, eventually I tagged it and I was able to kill it. However, when I turned around, I saw unfamiliar faces. I prepared for the worst. Luckily, however, it was just a friendly group of ecologists with their mercenary counterparts. We were good for now, but we were still in bandit territory and didn't want to risk anything, so I continued forward. I was almost surprised when we reached the train overpass, and not a single bullet was fired at a bandit. They always loved to set up ambushes there, and they were an annoying nuisance, as the tunnel over to the left-hand side was not allowing any access due to the anomalies inside. As I crossed through, I made a sigh of relief, as I realized I would never have to deal with these idiots again. Luckily for me, these guys were just in pursuit of sport killing, and I almost got a full payment that time. After a small debrief and the rubles touching my hand, I was finally free of them, and I was more open to more meticulous tasks. Unluckily enough, though, the job that he gave me before was the final one that he had to do that day. This was one of my first times speaking with the trader. He gave me a warm welcome and then showed me to the shop. And then I realized that this man was running an absolute scam. He had everything labeled double the price, and I couldn't afford anything with the several thousand rubles I had acquired already. I could not even afford a simple piece of bread, let alone any other piece of equipment. So then I realized that I was going to have to get to know everybody inside the loner village. So I decided to play some points for the trader, and I decided to go look for his shipment or whatever it was. A week had passed since I had started doing work for the trader. Occasionally I'd get some more missions from his security detail. However, as time progressed, issues with radiation began to arise. I was basically surviving off my medical supplies. The trader had me around his finger. I was permanently in debt with him. Every time I'd buy more equipment, the price would remain the same, but I'd have to buy double the amount due to the radiation exposure I had. I was living by the second, by the dollar itself. I would find a way out of this, though. Perhaps it was a test of some sorts to prove my loyalty to the trader. However, after this, I received missions of a different mark. The traitor looked me in the eye and gave me 2 different missions of different stature. One objective I knew before, capture the courier, but this time there was a twist. He handed me a list of names. I was his personal death angel now. He gave me these simple tasks to take out some bandits. This was a rite of passage. I would have to perform both at the same exact time. I would probably even have to commit some of these kills with this rookie, or whoever he was, behind me. While both objectives were important, I knew exactly what I needed to do.
You can hear them coming for you, coming forward to do what they do. You can run, but you can't run far. I can hear them coming for you, yeah. In the back with your shotgun shells, not a call to give you hell. No time to pack your cars, 'cause I can hear them coming, coming. You can hear them coming for you, coming forward to do what they do. You can run, but you can't run far. I can hear them coming for you, yeah. In the back with your shotgun shells, not a call to give you hell. No time to pack your cars, 'cause I can hear them coming, coming. I can hear them coming for you, yeah. You can hear them coming for you, coming forward to do what they do. You can run, but you can't run far. I can hear them coming for you, yeah. In the back with your shotgun shells, not a call to give you hell. No time to pack your cars, 'cause I can hear them coming, coming. I can hear them coming for you, yeah.
It wasn't looking good. My radiation level was high, and I was losing blood by the second. However, I was close enough for me and the VIP to limp back towards the base. The objective was almost done, and I'd be able to patch myself up. Finally, I built up the ability to run, and I ran back towards the traitor. Me and the VIP had got him back. He was confused at how I survived. The radiation sickness was ridiculously toxic. I was dying by the second. He had not only given me not enough equipment, he had not given me the amount of medical supplies I needed to get back. I was a dead man walking. However, I had earned his respect, and that would keep me alive.